According to this YouTuber, Zack D Films, you can have infinite chocolate using this hack, and even build a hammer only using ice. And today we're putting all of these crazy theories to the test and reacting to all of Zack D Films' videos. Prepare to have your mind blown.
If you swabbed the inside of your belly button and placed it into warm milk, the microbes inside the gunk would start breaking the milk down, which would turn it into cheese. Now, if hundreds of people donated their body bacteria for this, there would be enough to stock an entire deli case with this gunky cheese.
Who would want to eat belly button cheese?
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
If you strapped a baby to a pair of Cybertrucks to
What?
pull them, you would need 5,000 of them just to make them move.
How did he figure this out?
Same thing with anacondas.
Whoa.
It would take at least 160 of the giant snakes to pull the truck.
Did that snake just eat the baby?
If you stack a Pringle on top of another, all facing the same direction, each chip pushes downwards, holding the ones below in place. Now, because the chips are curved, it will cause the stack to curve upwards.
No
Then
way.
just rest the last few chips on top,
Making a whole
perfectly
circle?
closing the circle.
Chip number 1.
I feel like I'm playing like Jenga right now or something. Be so careful.
Oh! I feel like we can just pick it up and start over. We're good. If we get this one, it'll be our first loop. It's starting to turn. One last chip to complete our circle.
I'm actually so nervous.
A man claimed he found a dead mouse,
Oh, there's
No.
a rat in there.
No.
so he sued the SOA's parent company, PepsiCo. PepsiCo argued that Mountain Dew's highly acidic formula
Why do we
actually
drink it then?
dissolve a mouse body into a jelly-like substance before anyone could ever even notice it in the can. This odd defense left consumers worrying about what the soda really does to the human body if it can liquefy a mouse.
Mountain Dew Baja Blast is my favorite drink.
Watch out for the rat in there.
If you ground up every cow on
my
Earth
gosh.
and shaped it into a patty, you would have a burger over a mile wide. It would be twice the height of the Statue of Liberty and weigh 400 million tons. To grill it, you would need a pan bigger than Central Park and a volcano beneath to heat it. And since it would contain over 1,000,000,000 calories, it would be enough to feed every human on Earth more than 200 times. Tell them to squeeze the egg as hard as they can.
Squeeze this egg as hard as you can.
As they grip it, the pressure spreads evenly around the arch of the shell.
It's not breaking.
How is it not breaking?
I'm squeezing as hard as I can. This is crazy.
Now, hand an egg to your friend who's wearing a ring.
Cheyenne's wearing a ring. Take the egg.
I don't
After
wanna.
watching the first person, they'll try squeezing even harder, all that pressure into one tiny point.
Oh!
They'll get a handful of raw egg. If your house is about to catch fire, your dog could have enough pee to put it out before it grows. But to put out a wildfire, firefighters need thousands of gallons of water.
I don't think the dog has that much pee.
And dogs only produce about 1/3 of a gallon of pee each day, meaning you would need the pee of around 30 million large dogs. But since the
my
fires
gosh.
are so spread out and hot, the dogs couldn't get too close.
Where does
Instead, you
homie
would have
get
to
these
load
ideas,
them onto
bro?
thousands of
so
planes,
weird.
and they would have to pee at the exact same time to fully put out the fire. If you line up a row of bricks on a flat surface and space them exactly one brick length apart, as they fall on top of each other, each brick will knock the next one over. But the last one doesn't have anything in front of it, which lets it slide forward just enough to make the brick in front of it fall flat. And as this one slips forward, it lets the next one fall, starting a backwards chain reaction until all the bricks have fallen in a perfectly straight line.
If we actually did this correctly, they should all lay out just like dominoes with a cool trick at the end. Please work, please work. It's working. Once it gets down there, it's supposed to come back. That was sick.
It worked!
If you collected all the grease from your hair, you'd have around 1 gram of oil per day. And after about 2 years, you'd have enough to fry a single corn dog. If you kept gathering it for over 500 years, you'd have about 60 gallons, which is enough oil to deep fry an entire pig.
How would you even get the grease out of your hair like that? Wash your hair.
If you pour water into a hammer mold,
pouring our water into our mold.
Freeze it, peel it out,
It is officially frozen. Let's start peeling it out.
Okay.
Perfect!
and then try to hit a nail, it will shatter right away.
Only one way to find out. Let's test this ice hammer. Oh!
Instead, use a mallet mold to spread the weight more evenly.
We got our mallet mold. This literally took us 4 days to make. Let's do this.
Next, tear up a paper towel to spread on the bottom. This makes a mesh that holds the ice layers together.
We got our paper towels. We're tearing these bad boys up. This is gonna make it nice and strong.
After that, stuff in cotton balls, which helps give the ice a sturdy structure.
Cotton ball me!
Oh, okay.
This is so random.
How is this gonna make it strong?
Lay 2 strings down the length of the hammer to keep the handle connected to the head.
We got our strings right here. This is what's gonna make it nice and sturdy. Make sure it's nice and in there.
Finally, if you top it off with 1 more layer of paper towels,
Just for safety, another layer of paper towels.
before pouring in the water, you'll end up with a sturdy hammer that can crush a jawbreaker.
Let's pour in the water. Hopefully it doesn't break. Let's test it against this jawbreaker. 3, 2, 1. Oh! I feel like Thor with this thing. Bring me Thanos!
If you dove into a pile of coins, some people think you could swim in it.
He always says some people would think. Who's thinking
They'd
this?
actually lock into place to form a solid surface, and they'd be too heavy to move under your weight. Now, a pile of bills might look fluffy and soft, but unlike water, paper doesn't distribute force. Instead, it would all be focused on the spot that you land,
Who's trying to jump in money?
and the friction between the bills would keep them stacked in a solid mass.
This is like a Mr. Beast challenge. Why would you jump into money?
Put a piece of garlic into a plastic bag, then crush it until it breaks open.
Okay.
Next, slide the bag onto your foot.
Ooh, why would you put your foot in there?
As the garlic, it releases compounds that pass through your skin and enter your circulation,
Gross.
traveling all the way up to your lungs. So, as you breathe out, that garlic smell travels through your nose and mouth, which your brain experiences as taste.
Your feet can taste stuff?
There's no way.
If you fell off a building, could a giant gummy bear save you? Well, for this to work, the gummy bear would need to be at least a few hundred feet tall and super thick.
This is such a random scenario.
The gummy would absorb the impact.
How would you even get a gummy bear that
The
big?
surface, sinking into the sticky gelatin, and breathing would be impossible.
You would die inside the gummy bear.
Deep inside until you suffocated.
Imagine reading that guy's tombstone, jumped off of a very tall building, landed in the world's largest gummy bear, and suffocated.
When a fly lands on your food,
I think they
most
throw up
people
on it.
think it
Yeah.
just starts eating it. But flies actually can't chew like humans. So instead, they sort of puke up a special type of saliva right onto your meal. This saliva contains digestive enzymes that break down your food into a slurpable liquid. The fly then uses its proboscis to suck it up like a smoothie, which is how they consume your food.
If flies were our size, they would take over the entire world and throw up on us all and take over buildings like Godzilla.
If you curl your tongue back and up into your nasal cavity,
I can't
Okay,
do that.
you can't do that.
you're practicing what's known as Kachare Mudra. This yoga practice starts with you stretching
Lifting
your
weights,
tongue
okay.
daily to increase flexibility. Then you'd roll your tongue all the way back and gradually extend it down your throat and
Why?
into
Oh, I'm trying to do it, I can't do it.
and once inside, you'll hold your tongue there and focus on your breath.
Editors make my tongue lift weights like that guy.
When he saws through the assistant, you would expect blood and guts to spill onto the floor. But when the box is placed over her, the magician blocks her feet from the view of the audience.
How does Zack D Films even know how magic is done? This guy knows everything, apparently.
At the same time, her feet are replaced with remote-controlled ones in the second half. And when the saw blade comes down, it looks like she's being sliced in half, with the legs wiggling. But the blade never actually touches her.
What if you accidentally didn't move your body up enough?
You might think shooting zombies is the best defense in the apocalypse, but you'll run out of ammo fast, and the
so
sound
what would
only
you do?
attracts attention. Now, a
crowbar?
crowbar could easily crack a zombie's skull, and it doubles as a tool. but it's heavy and requires a lot of force to swing, meaning you'll get tired fast. A baseball bat is lighter and still has great reach, but it can splinter and blunt.
Oh, he got kicked in the face by the zombie.
Okay, the zombies attacked him.
Your best weapon would actually be a good pair of running shoes
So you
to
just
outrun
run
the
the
zombies, or at least the
Oh,
zombies.
you just gotta run faster than your sister and you'll survive the zombie apocalypse.
If you hold a balloon over a candle, the flame will weaken the rubber and it'll pop instantly.
Holding our balloon over the flame.
If you fill the balloon with water and lower it over the flame, the heat goes into the water instead of staying in the rubber. Then the water spreads the heat out before it can build up in one spot, acting like a shield around the rubber.
I have my water balloon and a candle. Let's see if this works. Look at it. It's literally not doing anything.
Burning it.
The balloon is turning black, but it's still not popping. The shield is working. The balloon is literally singed from the flame, but it didn't break. I'll fix that.
Oh.
If you were crushed with a hydraulic press,
Oh,
Oh, no.
it's so gruesome.
well, your body is mostly made of water, and water can't be compressed. So you would have to remove all of the fluids by drying out
Oh, I
completely.
hate this.
Then you'd have to
Why would
grind
you wanna
up your
make
bones
yourself
and
into a
organs
cube?
into fine powder. Finally, you could crush it all together, turning an entire human into a dense little cube.
Looks like a
about the
Minecraft
size of a
block.
football.
It reminds me of the little square in Monsters, Inc. when they thought the girl got crushed with her little costume.
If someone tripped and
Oh!
fell off of the building, and you threw out a sticky hand to try and save him, it obviously wouldn't do.
Okay, really?
If you made the entire arm over 60 feet long, with a palm big enough to wrap around his chest, and around 20 people holding the end, and you had it painted with a special glue that could hold over 2,000 pounds.
A special
the
glue
hand
that could hold
slapped
2,000
onto
pounds.
his
It doesn't even
body,
exist.
I think that's a
just
thing.
few to break his fall safely. But if the hand touches his bare skin, it might just tear a chunk off instead. If you can stay in this room for an entire
Mr. Beast
year,
challenge.
you would win $1 billion. But the room is padded, and it's almost completely silent. Now, at first, this might seem peaceful, but then you would start hearing your own heartbeat. Soon, another strange sound starts creeping in. It's your eyes blinking. Over time, your mind could start breaking down. So even if you won the $1 billion, you probably wouldn't be able to enjoy it.
I don't know if I could do it yet.
I could not do it. I don't think I could do a day.
If you press your finger onto a mirror and the reflection lines up perfectly tip to tip, it means that there's a thin metallic coating right on front of the glass. And since the room is brightly lit, the coating bounces light back at you, looking like a normal mirror. But on the other side, the room is completely dark, allowing the mirror to look transparent from that side.
That is so terrifying.
If there's a tiny gap between your nail and the reflection, it's likely a normal mirror. But if they touch tip to tip, leave.
Let's test this out. On the other side of this wall is the neighbor to our warehouse. Let's see if they're spying on me. Okay, I can see the very tip of my finger. That means this is a normal mirror. Thank God.
If you get a hangnail, most people go right ahead and peel them off. But should you actually do this? Well, despite what its name suggests, a hangnail is actually a part of your skin. And if you peel it, you run the risk of peeling too much. You should just trim the hangnail and cover it with a Band-Aid.
I feel like Zack D Films is obsessed with nails. I've seen so many different videos where he talks about nails growing, throwing them in the ocean.
If your kitten grew to the size of a tiger, you might think it would be cute, but it would weigh over 600 pounds. And unlike
I'd be kind of scared.
it wouldn't be afraid of you. A single pounce would be enough to shatter your rib cage.
Why are the visuals so bad?
Curl up on your chest, slowly choking you to death.
It doesn't even know it's hurting you. It's like a giant dog thinking it's a lap dog.
If you accidentally touched a table saw, you'd probably think your fingers would be cut off.
Yeah.
But this isn't always the case. You see, some modern high-end saws actually know the difference between wood and your skin. It immediately detects the electrical conductivity from your skin. This triggers an immediate mechanical response that stops the blade in less than 5 milliseconds.
I've seen this before, but I don't think anyone would actually want to test that.
We're actually about to test it right now. We officially have our dangerous saw right here, and it's time to test test it out with our hands.
I don't wanna.
Yeah, obviously we're not gonna be using our real hands and testing this out. So I got some hands in my pants. We're gonna be using this little guy right here. Here we go. I don't like this. It turned off.
It's stuck in there.
Just a little late.
Where are the fingers?
Oh, here's one of them.
Oh, they're on the floor in pieces.
Hello there.
It's doing like a rock-on thing.
That does not work. It does not sense your hand.
This goes without saying, but never try any of the things that we're attempting in this video. We are trained professionals.
If you shot a bullet next to a supercar going over 2,700 miles per hour,
Which one's faster?
I think the bullet.
Cars can't go that fast.
reach out and grab the bullet?
No.
It would be almost 200 degrees, meaning you would get seriously burned. It'd also be spinning thousands of times a second, which would peel the skin and fat right from your hand. And even if you had a super thick glove, your arm would actually snap as soon as it left the car.
Has anyone ever checked his math to see if any of this is real?
If you got onto an indestructible water blob and a car was thrown on the other side, you would soar hundreds of feet into the air.
Oh.
Now, if a blue whale was dropped
my
onto
gosh.
it could catapult you over 10 miles high.
10 miles in the air?
If a meteor fell from space and crashed into the blob, the force of the impact would compress the blob.
I feel he's gonna go to
Blast
space.
you upward faster than a rocket. You would shoot past clouds and break into the outer layers of Earth's atmosphere, leaving you helplessly floating through space.
I feel like we should just build rocket ships like that.
If you shut a giant book on your head, you might think it would be heavy enough to crack open your skull.
No, I don't think that.
No.
Books are light.
And it can actually withstand over 500 pounds of pressure.
We're gonna test this one out.
No.
And could definitely be smashed
Oh.
with a regular
Poor
book.
frog.
But it would take an 8-foot tall book closing on your head to crush your skull completely. If you were swallowed by a humpback whale, they don't really have traditional teeth like a shark,
Those teeth look terrifying.
which means they probably wouldn't hurt you.
They
And
look like they
because
would hurt
this
you.
whale's throat is really small, there's really no way it could actually gulp you down. But if you did somehow manage to squeeze your way down its throat, you would find yourself stuck in the
That kinda looks like
which is
me.
not equipped for large prey. And eventually, the lack of oxygen and harmful gases would limit your chances of survival.
I always dreamed of being swallowed by a whale and surviving in there. Reminds me of a little VeggieTales movie I watched when I was a kid.
Twist out the stem,
Twisting out the apple stem?
then press the base of both thumbs deep into the small stem cavity.
My thumbs don't really fit, but I'm trying.
Then wrap your fingers tightly around the apple and squeeze hard with your fingers.
My fingers are wrapped and I'm squeezing hard.
This is your fingers to compress the apple from the sides while your thumbs pry the top apart. And the apple splits cleanly in half.
I hear mine cracking.
I think that's mine. All right. Ow, I did it.
How is she able to get it, not me? I can't do it. Next bit.
Most people use tweezers to pluck out unwanted hairs.
I
Plucking
do this.
actually rips out the entire root.
That's
This
good, right?
damages the follicle, which can cause the new hair to grow in at an angle. This can cause it to get trapped under the skin, resulting in irritation and ingrown hairs. And if you continue to repeatedly pluck like this, your follicles can become so damaged that it can no longer grow hair.
That's the good thing. You don't want more hairs if you're plucking them.
Have you ever wondered why your jeans have this tiny little pocket?
It's for a screwdriver.
No.
I think it's for little tools.
But that wasn't always the case. You
Okay,
see,
why?
back in the day, workers needed to be able to tell the time while on the job.
pocket
So
watch.
jean companies added this tiny pocket for a safe place to keep a pocket watch.
Why do they still have them though? No one uses pocket watches.
This is a stack of $1,000,000 $1 bills.
Wow. How tall is it? I figured it'd be taller.
$1 billion would be a lot higher, reaching 67 miles. This would
67
just
miles?
surpass the edge of the atmosphere, technically reaching space. Now, you might think Elon Musk's net worth of over $200 billion would reach the moon, but it doesn't even make it 7% of the way there. But if you take the current US national debt of $33
Our
trillion,
debt.
you could make it all the way to the moon and back 4.5 times.
That's a lot of debt. bet.
Have you ever wondered why your knuckles crack?
Oh, I do this all the time, listen.
Think it's the actual bones that are cracking.
It's the
when you
gas
do
in between the
this.
muscles.
You see, in our joints, there's a lubricant called synovial fluid that contains gases. And when you stretch or bend your fingers, you pull the joint apart, creating a negative pressure. This pressure rapidly creates little bubbles of gas, which eventually pop or dissolve.
It's so satisfying and feels so good. I always do it to my back, listen. Oh, did you hear that? I feel good now.
Fold your tongue back and use your first 2 fingers from each hand to push it down firmly. Next, press your pointer fingers into the sides of your mouth to block the air and fold your lips over your teeth. Take a deep breath before clamping down on your
Okay, chill out!
If you're in a subway tunnel with a train speeding towards you, most people would panic and run away. But you'll never outrun the speed of a subway. Instead, you should look for a maintenance.
I would get on the ground so it would go over me. Oh, this is smart.
Oh.
If you can't find one, you could press yourself against the wall as far from the track as possible. There might be enough clearance depending on the tunnel.
That reminds me of a restaurant in Vietnam where you get so close to the train while you're eating. It's terrifying.
When you slice a watermelon in half and in half again, then cut it into wedges, the sticky
a lot of
juices
juice.
cover your face.
Oh.
And since it doesn't fit your mouth, you actually lose some of the fruit.
We're about to learn the correct way to cut a watermelon.
Cut the watermelon in half on the short side and flip it over.
We're cutting the watermelon in half.
Okay, we're gonna be here for 7 hours. Give me it.
My baby sister is cutting the watermelon in half.
Okay, it's cut in half.
Next, slice even strips in one direction, then again in the other direction, making a grid.
Our grid is officially cut in our watermelon.
When you pull out a piece, most of them will be the perfect size to fit in your mouth.
Pulling out the perfect size that fits in my mouth.
Okay,
It worked perfectly.
this is kind of perfect. They're like little spears.
If you pulled out your finger bone,
Oh, it's so flappy.
you could use it to write out your name 40 times. And this is because your bones
love
contain
my finger.
calcium, the same thing that makes up sidewalk chalk. And if you pulled out the largest bone in your body, you could draw a line half a mile long before it turned to dust. Now, if you pulled out your entire skeleton and formed it into a massive stick, you'd have enough to draw a line
Oh, look at his
all the way
body.
across Manhattan.
We're actually gonna try that out. I am literally drawing on a chalkboard with Cheyenne's bones. We're about to find out how magicians actually swallow swords without getting hurt.
When a magician swallows a sword, they completely suppress their gag reflex as it enters their throat. The blade is then carefully aligned as the performer leans back to straighten the natural curve of
So
the esophagus.
dangerous.
Then the performer pushes the sword down the esophagus, being cautious not to enter the trachea. The sword
How would you know to
is
do that?
stopped right before
Where do you
it
know to
reaches
point
the
it?
stomach and carefully pulled back up the throat.
I was always hoping there was some sort of trick to this, but I found out they actually do it legit, and it's so terrifying.
Fold the paper in half, then unfold it, and
Folding my paper in half and unfolding it.
bring the
Right.
bottom edge up right above here,
I brought the bottom edge up right to here, like he said.
before folding it again to make a thick bar.
All right, I hope I got it.
Next, flip the paper over and fold it in half lengthwise.
Fold it in half.
Glad I have Shine here to explain this to me.
After that, grab the opposite corners, pulling outwards to twist it. You get an air pocket on either side.
I have my air pockets, now what?
When you swing it down, the air slams into the pockets, unfolding the triangles and giving you a loud, satisfying pop.
Oh! That sounded cool, but it's 5 minutes of my time I'll never get back.
Have you ever wondered why McDonald's soda tastes so good?
So
The
much
company
better than everywhere
claims
else.
it's because of their chilling process. But the true reason has less to do with the actual drink. You see, McDonald's straws are actually a little wider than normal. This allows more flavor and carbonation to hit your tongue, making you think the soda tastes better.
So you're telling me I could take a McDonald's straw anywhere and the Coke would taste the same?
I feel like it would.
If someone drilled a hole through a coin, tied a fishing line to it, inserted it into a vending machine, made a selection, and yanked it back out, could they?
They're gonna get unlimited snacks.
Well, most vending machines now scan the metal and track how long it takes the coin to fall. Even if accepted, many
does he
have a
know this?
small metal piece that blocks the exit, making it impossible to retrieve the coin.
Oh, so there's a little hook down there so you can't pull it out.
But if the machine is old, checking only weight and size, and the slot isn't one way, the coin could be yanked out after it's counted, but before being swallowed. This tricks the machine into giving free unlimited snacks, but this is also considered stealing, so don't do it.
I just want to steal a girl's heart one day.
A doctor would remove the hardened clump of hair directly from the animal. And if you were poisoned, they'd have you swallow it. These hairball stones were believed to have magical properties back in the Middle Ages.
They used to think cat hairballs were medicine?
They'd sometimes actually absorb the toxins in the stomach, preventing the poison from reaching the bloodstream.
But then what? It just sits in there forever?
If you cut a chocolate bar into these 3 pieces and rearrange them, you magically gain an extra block. And if you do this over and over, you'll get an extra piece every time.
Yeah, but the chocolate's getting smaller.
But it's still that same square. How?
I'm sorry, Jimmy. We're using Hershey chocolate. Don't kill me. You have to slice it in the perfect spot. We have made our slices. Let's see how this works. We move this piece over here, this piece over there, this piece right there. Look!
Oh, it worked!
We have a full-size chocolate bar and an extra piece we can eat. I missed.
The 9-volt battery was pressed against a nose ring. With the
this
ends
is not
connecting
good.
To make a loop, the
You're gonna get, like,
electricity would
electrocuted.
travel and straight into the skin, which conducts electricity really well. So instead of just breaking the connection, it would make a complete circuit, and the electricity would flow through again and again. At first, it would just feel like a strong zap, but after a few more seconds, blisters would start to form, and if it was left on for long enough, it could permanently damage the nose.
That is why I would never get a piercing in my entire life.
There is a secret about Skittles that the company doesn't want you to know about. You see, they claim that the candy comes in 5 different flavors, but the actual truth is that they all taste exactly the same. The only difference is their color and scent. And according to neuropsychologists, that's enough to trick your brain into thinking they have different flavors.
We have Skittles and a blindfold. Let's test this out. This is the flavor Skittle we're going with. Let's see if Cheyanne can guess it.
That's the best one. That's the red one.
She got it right. Let's try again.
Drop down onto your hands and feet before leaning forward and running like an animal.
Oh, no.
You are not faster that way, bro.
Isn't just about moving your legs quickly. It's about
about
how
surface
hard
area?
you push while touching the ground. So if you time it just right, your arms and legs could add more force with every step, allowing you to run faster.
They say IShowSpeed's the fastest YouTuber. Maybe if I raced him doing this method from Zack D Films, I could actually beat IShowSpeed in a race.
Yeah, please don't do that.
If you took the tallest building in the world
I've been on the
and
top of
tried
that.
to reach the Titanic, you would actually need 5 of them stacked
That's
together to
insane.
make it. Now, the Titanic sits at over 12,000 feet underwater, which is just about the average depth of the ocean floor. But just like land, the ocean is covered in deep pits. Most of these trenches are significantly deeper, like the Mariana Trench, which
Oh
goes
my
down so
gosh.
deep that you would have to stack 13 of these buildings to reach the bottom.
When me and Cheyanne were in Dubai standing on top of the building, it was so big you couldn't see cars or any humans. I can't imagine 13 of them stacked.
If you insert your fingers into a Chinese finger trap,
All right, I'm inserting my fingers into this thing.
Here we go.
Used to hate this when I was a kid.
then try to pull them out, the woven lattice is stretched lengthwise. This stretching causes the individual fibers to contract. The harder you pull, the more the fibers contract, making it almost impossible to escape by force.
I can't escape.
What do you do?
Push your fingers together. This will loosen the tension and allow the fibers to expand.
That was kind of scary, I'll be honest.
If you were forced to eat a banana, then another, and another, after around
I would not wanna
60,
do this.
your stomach would rupture. But if you somehow kept them down, some people think your hair would fall out.
Why would
your
your hair
skin
fall out?
turned red until you finally died. That's because bananas are actually radioactive. But one banana gives you about the same radiation as living near a nuclear.
Why does it have radiation?
So to actually die from banana radiation, you would need to eat 35 million bananas at once. Stick the orange in a glass and slice the peel all the way around.
Sticking the annoying orange in the cup. This is a lot slower in reality than he makes it seem.
Then slide a spoon under the peel to separate it from the fruit.
Cheyanne is really getting in there.
I'm trying.
The marker is also getting everywhere. The annoying orange is no longer with us.
Slowly wiggle the fruit out of the bottom, leaving the white core attached to the peel.
Oh!
We have a nice little juicy stem.
Then pour olive oil over it until it's soaked and fill the bowl-shaped peel halfway before lighting the core.
I'm filling it halfway up to the stem. I feel like we're making a candle right now. Let's see if this homemade candle works. 3, 2, 1. We have a little candle. We had to turn off the lights so you see how small this homemade candle is. It's literally pathetic. Look at that. I gotta move very carefully so the wind doesn't blow it out. This thing sucks. Make a wish. My wish was for you to subscribe.
If the zombies are approaching, quickly get a treadmill.
A treadmill?
100 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Crank them to full speed.
This is actually his best idea yet.
Gets launched backwards. One grips the handles
Oh.
and manages a few running steps before flying back. The others notice and copy it. They practice again and again until they're running fast enough to stay upright. And then they finally break through, smashing their way inside. Now you've just conditioned zombies with elite cardio, officially dooming the entire.
Then why did you tell us to do this?
If someone shoves a pick into the bottom of a padlock, they might be able to lift
I don't have a
the
pick.
inside, opening the lock. But if no pick is available, cutting an M-shaped piece from the side of a soda can,
I'm cutting an M-shaped piece out of this soda can.
then the legs are wrapped around a metal strip.
Wrapping the legs around the metal strip. It's like a Tesla logo.
That piece can be slid into the lock's gap, pushed down, and then the shackle pulled up to pop it open.
I'm wrapping it around and pushing it down. It really doesn't fit. Oh, I got it in there.
Oh.
The device is wrapped around the lock. Now we just gotta push it down and pull up.
Okay.
Oh! It actually works!
No way that worked.
I'm gonna rob people now. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe for the chance to win $1,000 and click these videos right here. I'll see you next time. Bye!